All right, I'm going to get a little serious right now because I think that narcissism is a real thing and I've experienced it. However, I do want to be clear that this seems to be a word that people like to throw around these days. Again, it is a real thing. So if you've experienced it, you know, and if you haven't, you probably have and just didn't see the signs. So here are some signs that I would like to share with you. One is that the individual gives you kind of these blank stares when you're talking, especially if it's something that's on your heart. They really are not interested in what you have to say, but they've learned these behaviors of how to act, if you will, as if they are listening. But you will know if they're not responding in an appropriate manner or an appropriate way, or not responding at all, that they really don't have an interest. Now, that could be just someone that is not a very good communicator, but I'm just giving you subtle hints of what could be a narcissist. The second thing is that perhaps they said or did something that felt hurtful to you, and you approach them in a healthy way. You use healthy communication and express to them, hey, I felt hurt. And again, they're looking at you with blank eyes. Because with narcissists, there's just not a lot of compassion. There isn't a lot of compassion. So when you get that blank stare, that is a little bit of a hint. That should be a hint to you, a red flag, if you want to call it that, that they might be a narcissist. I don't know. Again, it's you have to be discerning about these things because, again, maybe they're just a horrible communicator. I'm giving you my personal experience with narcissists and my clients, what I hear from clients. So they have difficulty showing compassion, really hearing you and validating you, and they never, if ever, I should say, apologize for anything. They really don't have any compassion for the fact that they hurt you. And it doesn't make them a bad person. It just is a psychological behavior that is not easy. It makes it almost impossible to be in a relationship with someone that suffers from narcissism. The other tip I can give you is that often it's kind of trickery. They've become really good at mimicking behaviors, as I mentioned a moment ago. So they'll hear what you're saying and kind of file that away. For instance, they'll listen to what you like what kind of music, maybe you like to go for walks on the beach, things of that nature, and they'll repeat that back to you to kind of pull you in. And it's quite interesting to see a narcissist in action. They're really, really good at filing things away to use that to kind of bring you in to their, if I were to give a visual, kind of into their web, or they kind of hook you, right? Another thing that comes to mind that I've talked to clients a lot about is narcissists have a tendency to gaslight. And I think this is another word that gets kicked around a lot, but gaslighting is a real thing. And gaslighting is basically they're going to make you believe that you were wrong. So we could have a whole, hour-long conversation about gaslighting, but essentially, in a nutshell, they are going to make you believe that you were wrong, and you are left questioning whether you were right or wrong. They're really good at that. So if you are seeing some of these signs in someone, I would highly recommend that you take a step back, create some space, and evaluate the relationship, evaluate how you feel. Is it a comfortable space where you can open up some honest, open communication with that person and get a little bit more curious and inquire, like, are you struggling with communication? Or am I, why am I feeling like this? Or is it a situation where you need to just step away? Narcissists generally do not change. It is a psychological behavior that generally does not change. I don't want to give any counseling advice here, just some tips when you're dating. If you see some, narcissistic behavior, take pause, evaluate, and make sure that you stay safe in this scenario. You want to be sure that you're safe to open up conversations, because the other thing about narcissists is that they sometimes have anger management issues. And in the meantime, if you need to talk to someone, a mentor, a counselor, a coach, I would highly recommend that. So pour some love into it and live Telos.